Yeah, it's almost midnight. Brandon Ingram hits a game winner. Pelicans win 105-103. I'm sure Mont Dog's about to have a field day. Let's talk about it.
First took away. Yes, with this. Get your money's worth now.
Presented to you by the Scott Vicknair Injury Law Firm. If you've been injured in any kind of accident, car, truck, AT-well, hurt offshore, Scott Vicknair handles it all. Give him a call at 504-500-1111 for a free consultation. Yes, a free consultation. They always fight for the win. Keeping us up tonight, as always, powered by 4D Energy. Right there, 4D. Smash that like button. I can't believe there's already 145 of you sickos in this room right now. Obviously, smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, let me know we're going live. Let's get right into it. Brandon Ingram, Chris. Brandon Ingram. Before the game winner, in the third quarter, I think I tweeted this out. There's like 16 minutes left of gameplay in the third quarter. He was 4 of 7 from deep. As you're yawning. Just a different Brandon Ingram these last two games.
Yeah, man. I think my favorite development is him taking screens, having actual screens to move off of, and taking those threes. And he actually, he took one that was contested, and I think it was close to being blocked. It may have been fouled, but I like the fact that he, even attempted it. 9 threes from Brandon. You lucky to get 9 3 attempts in 3 games, depending on how shit's going. So, and my favorite element of that, I mean, I'm sure we're gonna talk about the shot to close, for better for worse. There was a couple good sets before that to open up some shots to tie the game, or when Portland ended up looking like they may put the Pelicans in another clutch situation for them to fuck up or lose. But I think Brandon starting off shooting the ball badly and still sticking with the three was probably, in regards to him, was the biggest development, because it's so easy to fall back into what's comfortable. We've seen him and others do it all the time. Fuck what you've been working on, fuck what you said you were going to do, fuck what, you need to do. What's comfortable here? What does the team need out of me? And if he doesn't make some of those threes, or at least attempt them, they don't come back and win this game. So shout out to him for sticking with the plan.
Totally agree. 5, what up? I got something for you right here. You're actually muted. You ready for this?
So again, look at Klingon.
It'll be a deep 3. Hawkins.
This young man's in a
Wow.
Yeah.
One more time.
Yeah, finally. I mean, we've seen this play run for Trey Murphy a lot. Now it's running for Jordan Hawkins. Just having Jordan Hawkins out there on the court. So it's a good sign to see. I just love the movement, right? Like, it was just seemed like there was like continuous movement offensively. They Chris kind of alluded to like the sets they were running for Brandon before he took the game winner, and we'll talk about that. But in those sets, like, it was constant movement. They saw open shots, and even say they didn't make the shot on a particular possession, they still went back to the same play because it was a good shot. That's the thing that I was, kind of happy to see. And Jordan Hawkins had an amazing game. Shot the ball.
He won the game.
Oh, for sure.
I know Brandon like won the game, but like without Hawkins' effort tonight, he hit some big threes. I thought he like that charge. Look, you're talking about, Jordan Hawkins, the offensive guy. That charge was huge. It was huge that he took that charge. And that's something you didn't even see last year, right? And I'm pretty sure Willie Green even like challenged him more. And like, Jared, taking a charge is not fun. It's not fun.
Nah, it's not fun, but I just think that the confidence level of this kid is super high. It's just giving him the runway to play, right? He played 29 minutes tonight, 8 of 12 from the field, 4 of 7 from 3, 4 of 4 from the free throw line. I'm trying to see how many rebounds he had. Like, he attacked the glass really well as well. Like, there was some key rebounds by Hawk too. So this is an all-around good game. I think he's becoming a really good basketball player in front of our eyes. So I hope they continue to give him the same runway when they get DeJounte back, when they give Trey Murphy back, like, still allow him to grow in specific roles.
Yeah, Killer Cam, this will go to Chaz right here, because Zion Williamson will go Chaz and Ross. I want to hear y'all's thoughts on Zion Williamson. Really, really bad start to the game. I think it was like 1 of 7. He just looked sloppy. Obviously, he hadn't played in a couple days, 4 or 5 days. But Chaz, even though he wasn't very efficient from the field, 16 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists, 4 blocks, a steal. Obviously had that block at the end of the game. What were your, I guess, give me your thoughts on Zion. Obviously the slow start, but then second half he wakes up, has 2 back-to-back alley-oops, one from Tice, one from Brandon Ingram. Got going there in the third, and then kind of finished the fourth with the block there. What'd you see from him?
Well, I want to shout out Trey Laster, big supporter of the show. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Take your people, go get checked, make sure everything's all right. For Zion, not impressed. Not impressed. He had 8 rebounds in the first half. You in the game with 11. Missed 6 free throws. Fuck out of here. I understand you ain't played in a couple weeks, so you're dealing with whatever you're dealing with, but nah, standard got to be all-star. Standard got to be MVP caliber player. Nah, what's his name? LaMelo just had another 30-point game back-to-back. Zion, you got to step it up. I enjoyed the block. I think he had about 4 blocks, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I thought he was okay. Clearly not where he needs to be. Not impressed. Not impressed at all. I want to give another shout-out to Brand. Look, I got a check in the mail today. Riff, Brandon looked incredible. Brandon was incredible. In fact, also shout out to Willie Green. Timeout management.
Took the
timeout game management totally was excellent.
Chaz, I have that in my notes. Because Chaz, I want to talk about that. I have that in my notes. I do want to talk about that. The last 3.5 minutes of the game. I wanted to talk about that later on in the show because I thought that was actually important. Even though they went 0 for 2 on the ATOs. But no, completely agree. And he had a challenge.
Yeah, and the thing I thought was most impressive about the timeout was that he was about to lose it. It was
303.
About 301 left. So he had about 61 seconds before he lost that mud, and he took the timeout. So shout out to the staff for being on top of that.
Yeah, Ross.
Yeah, you know what? I kind of agree with Chaz there. Zion didn't really do anything in this game that impressed me a ton. But you know, it's easy to say, oh, first game back, all that other stuff. I thought he was just okay. Finishing around the basket wasn't sort of what I expected and what I've seen from him, even in that first preseason game, what we saw midseason last year. So whatever. Hope it improves, but you know, I don't think he was like a huge contributor to the win tonight. But loved what I saw from Hawk. Absolutely loved what I saw from Hawk. You know, I kind of made a sort of tongue-in-cheek joke last time that when he misses shots, it almost looks weird because his release is so beautiful and he's just got such a great technique and shot. But his comfort and his confidence and like his growth just in the way he's moving, not even in the shots he's taking. And I think part of that is the change in offensive like scheme. And the other part of that is just his personal growth as a player. I thought he was tremendous tonight.
Chris, let's talk about a little bit more Hawkins and just his growth, right? I know Jared has talked a lot about his, where he can improve, right? We talk about ball handling a lot. Obviously, his movement and shooting is incredible, but I feel like the game has slowed down a lot for him. He's taking middies. He's trying to get to the cup. He's obviously attacking rebounds, but he's also shooting threes. He's going off flare screens, down screens. Got a lot going on there. What'd you see from him? He got a lot going on.
I mean, it's midnight. It's just
60 people in this room at midnight.
Appreciate it. Shout out to y'all, man. I think it's rewarding, man, to have people in here that have seen Hawk work and in the building and talking to people around Hawkins and seeing the year that he had last year. And you could make the argument that the rug was pulled, from underneath him, to say to speak. And for him to, then all the, the different questions about, bringing in another guard, and then, you draft another guard in the second round, and Willie Green saying he's going to have to earn and, do some other things to keep his minutes and to fight for his minutes. And what you learned, if you didn't know already about Hawkins, is that like mentally he didn't hear or care about any of that shit. Had a bad summer league, again, spotlight on his ball handling, on his dribbling or lack thereof. And he didn't care about any of that. Like none of that mattered. That he knew what he needed to work on. He knew what what he was gonna be asked to do when the regular season started and when he was out there with some of the players he was, with. I thought it was interesting post game, him doing the interview on the court with BI and just saying he's always open. And I mean, it was funny, in the beginning. I thought about it. I was like, well, no, I mean, it's kind of true. When he's out there with Zion, when he's out there with Brandon, like teams have to put their focus on your best players. They have to put their focus on a CJ McCollum. Like, you can only put so much attention on Jordan. You can only put a certain tier defender or a certain type of sacrifice, a certain type of tier defender dealing with Jordan. And, these were shots in a lot of respects he would have missed last year, but it's been a consistent thing with him from the minute he's been playing actual basketball. We're talking preseason. He has been on fire. He's made the most of his opportunity on both sides of the floor. A block here, a steal here, a charge here, and then 24 points when they needed every single one of them tonight. Just shows mentally like what he's made of. Nothing about him is scared of what he has to be thrown into.
Jarrett, so let's talk about the coaching staff. I think Chaz brought up some really good points about, just kind of like the timeouts and the communications and the replays. But something that I absolutely loved from them, Jarrett, is that when they saw a set that they liked and it worked, they went right back to it until they stopped it. And I think, I don't know what it was. This is in the fourth quarter where it's a skip to Herb. It's like a step up screen. I think Hawk came off one time, hit a jumper. Then they did it again with Brandon. I think he hit a jumper. Then they did it again with Brandon. It might have been like maybe a pocket pass was available or something. Either way, I thought the sets tonight, Jarrett, were very efficient. They were very well thought out. And also when it was working, they went back to the well again.
Yeah, I mean, you see this a lot with even the Lakers with JJ right now. Like they'll do what you're referring to is a swing to Hawk. Hawk's an entry pass to Zion at the mid post. Then there's the back screen, almost flare screen, but then it's a skip pass, and then kind of go from there. Then you playing pick and roll, and you got a Tice floater out of it. You got a Brandon good jumper out of it. Like this is what we want to see from this team, even if this team would have lost, right? Like even say this team lost. I saw really good things from this team. The consistency to go back to things that make basketball sense. You're going after players, Ayton, right, is in drop coverage. What are you going to do to attack that? And they did that time after time, right? The way they got back into the game was attacking Ayton while he's in drop coverage. Continually to go after that. CJ is a, pull-up artist. Yeah, let's, if Ayton's going to be in drop, let's do some pick and rolls with whoever's, assigned to Ayton. Like that's how you beat teams schematically. And the players missed a lot of good shots tonight, right? There was a lot of good shots that were missed. So you can only assume like eventually those shots are going to go in just after repetition.
And Jared, you've been
Ayton stinks.
Yeah,
Ayton stinks.
He sucks.
And Jared, all y'all, Jared said it best. Keep him away from the city.
He sucks.
Like no. But Jared, you talked about like just being consistent in what you do, and I thought like, okay, this was like something that they obviously thought about, worked out on. Like their crunch time numbers were really bad last year. I feel like they've definitely gone away from elbow. That thing is gone. Wasn't efficient. That's out the window. There's more movement now. The only thing, Jarrett, is I wish they would set a high ball screen with Zion and Brandon. Brandon's now shooting the three. Okay, so like late game situation. I know CJ set the screen in the last like 15 seconds. I just want to see Zion sprint up, set a good solid screen, let Brandon get downhill, let Zion be the roll, Herb's in the dunker, and you got Hawk and CJ in the corners. Like that's what I would go with.
I mean, I'm not upset that they didn't do it tonight. I mean, just the team that they were playing against called for, CJ setting the screen this time because the action they were running was working. So it wasn't necessary to, do that right now. Also, they've only played 2 games. They've only, it's only 2 games.
It's the second game.
Zion didn't play the first one, so it's only 2 games. One game they've been on the floor together. So then they sub in for each other at this point. So
yeah,
we'll see.
So Chaz, you brought up a situation I want you to kind of explain tonight because I didn't even know this was a thing until you explained to me last year. But you talked about the timeouts. Could you kind of like elaborate a little bit of what you saw? From Willie Green, the staff tonight, they had 4 timeouts left with about 3:45 left. I think it was maybe 4:30, 4 minutes and 30 seconds. They burn one timeout, run an ATO, then comes back down. I think it's a couple empty possessions. They take another timeout before the 3-minute mark. So if you don't take that timeout at the 3-minute mark, you lose that timeout, right?
You lose it after you lose it under 2 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I do give him credit for that. Took 4 years to learn it. Next question, man. Next question. It's like, come on, bro.
It's an interesting point though. Like you got to give them credit because they learned it. Like you got to give them you got to give them credit.
It's progression. You got to give them credit. APR is out of this world, but at the same time, it's like
they're gonna figure it out, Chaz. They'll figure it out. They'll figure it out. They're gonna figure it out.
I had something I wanted to bring up. So I tweeted this before the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tweeted with the Murray news. I think it's important to remember fundamentally nothing has changed for the Pelicans at this point. The answers are still the answers. No need to get too high or too low. What I meant by that was I think it's almost to the Pelicans' advantage that they're shorthanded now because it's less of a learning curve. They started off the season without Trey last season. Only played one. They never played healthy at this point. Played one game with Murray. So now it's easier to go back to some of the things you're familiar with. I think we saw a lot of that in the first half. That's probably why they looked a little sluggish coming out. But I think, truthfully, long term, some of the Pelicans are having the best luck possible. I know the injuries don't look like it, but long term, especially for this season, Pelicans are having the best luck possible. We definitely got to talk about Herb. Yeah, we got to talk about Herb
for sure. Ross, is it time for, as Jared said, 2 games, but is it time for Missi to start?
I mean, look, he's playing well through 2 games. I mean, I found myself in those last couple of minutes saying, 2 weeks ago, I can't even express the amount of money I'd have lost if you just said, "Hey, game 2, Missi's closing a game, a 1-score game on the road." Like, you'd have taken a lot of money out of my wallet. Like, kudos to him, man. I truly didn't think he would be able to progress. He had a couple plays tonight where I was sure that he was going to foul. Driver coming off a screen, one-on-one, sort of in a downhill situation, and he contested without fouling. Like, that to me shows incredible progression because he's obviously 7 feet tall. Like, he can do the, like, he has the physical attributes to do these things. And the fact that it seems like in a relatively short amount of time, he's already, like, he's not perfecting these things, but he's making the right progression, and he's doing the right things, or trying to do the right things, is really impressive. I mean, Tice I don't think much of Tice. He's a perfectly adequate player. Does some good things. He hustles. Like, I don't know whether, to answer your question, I don't know whether it's not time for him to start. So no, it's not time for him to start. But I'm incredibly impressed with where he has gone from that first preseason game when he literally couldn't stay on his own 2 feet to the second game of the year, 2.5, 3 weeks later, where he looks to me like a progressing NBA center. Like, it's remarkable.
Chris, you had an interesting tweet. You said Missi's activity, staying grounded and wingspan, breaks possessions and allows her to be more dangerous defensively. This is the first time we've talked about this like all the time, but this is the first time like Herb's actually had a rim protector.
Not even a protector, bro. A rim deterrent.
Yeah.
Like somebody, like, just even that, somebody who can move. I mean, half an athlete. Like, and then the athletes that they had didn't have half a brain. So I mean, you get somebody who like understands like what it means to be, like, Missi already, he could use to add a few more pounds, but he doesn't look, he may be uncoordinated sometimes. I don't know how he falls on the ground as often as he does, but he doesn't look like he's, he doesn't look frail. He doesn't look like someone who's, missing a meal necessarily. I mean, he had a possession. My favorite possession from him was him strictly for someone who is as block hungry as he is and smacks as many tops of backboards as he can find. Him just deciding to just go vertical with, I forget who was driving to the rim for Portland and not fouling was incredible. And look, like, I think if you're looking past just that and Missi, now you play Chicago with Vucevic and you play Portland with Ayton. You've survived 2 quality centers in this league. Like, we spent a lot of this offseason talking about what would the Pelicans do at center, how would they survive, and they close a game literally with Herb at the 5. I know we don't think much of DeAndre Ayton, but he's a quality center. If you don't like DeAndre Ayton, it gets a lot worse in this league. It gets a lot worse when you look up and down some of the rock. I watched Brooklyn start their year with Dorian Finney-Smith at center. The guy that they just paid, Nick Claxton, was coming off the bench. It's like, what, but so it's saying a lot, I think, for them that they're in this position. And I'm curious, as the season continues, as teams start to see, this guy on film, see what the Pelicans are doing on film, what exactly they do and how they attack it. But it's good to see that 2 games in, we're not talking about, fuck, we were 100% right. They are in hell at that position, and there's nothing that they can do. All hope is lost. And a lot of that credit you got to give to Missi, or some of it you got to give to Missi and Tice.
Yeah, sorry. I agree that they've played better than I would have expected, but I'm incredibly hesitant to put too much stock in it just yet, because I think outside of Willie, like, I think we've probably played the 2 worst coaches in the NBA and 2 of the probably bottom 5 teams to start the year. So I'm excited, I think, about, again, only because I saw with my own 2 eyes how bad he looked in that first preseason game and just how lost in general. So that to me is exciting. But I'm certainly hesitant to walk back the position of that we're set at the 5, because I think it's just way too early, and we've played 2 just god awful teams.
To Ross's point, we've played 2 god awful teams, and also you got to remember Cooper Flag is available, right? That's a possibility for both of these teams. You're looking at Portland, it's right next to Nike and Adidas. You're looking at Chicago, it's a large market, which you would want a Cooper Flag in. Let's pump the brakes about the teams that the Pelicans have just played, knowing that possibly these teams want to lose.
I don't think we can have it both ways, but we go like that's fine.
I definitely didn't think this would be this productive first year. I mean, look, I've already said last night or 2 nights ago, but no, I don't think anyone did though. No one did. Really, honestly, no one did.
I thought Carlo might play before him. I truly did.
I mean, yeah,
we were talking about Trey Jemison possibly playing before him.
That's what I'm saying.
None of it. We're not in any way discounting how well Missi has played compared to where he was 5 professional basketball games ago, which was game 1. It truly is remarkable, but it's going to get more difficult. So
I know what it is.
But look though, no one is saying that anything is figured out. I'm saying that to be 2 games in, and for us to not be, we were trying to figure out how the team would fucking survive even 2 games in. If you looked on paper, and we talked about Vucevic and we talked about Ayton, and I told you that Ayton had a double-double, and I told you Vucevic had 21 and 11 when they played, you would probably look at the game and wonder, how the Pelicans going to win. those two, no matter what you think, they are above average centers in this league, and the team survived. No matter how they did it, no matter what the case, they survived. And those two dudes didn't dominate and put whatever the Pelicans threw out there out of business. I'm saying that's a win. I mean, it's not saying it's going to be the win the rest of the way. I just think they got to get to the fucking trade deadline. You're 2 games down against 2 quality bigs.
I want to play this clip about Yves missing.
Came up with a Malcolm Brogdon deal during the offseason.
He wants to get to that right hand.
And Yves meets him up top.
Before we get to y'all's thoughts, shout out to Lala. She's also up here 12:15 in the morning. So appreciate you, Lala. I'm going to run this clip one more time.
Came up with a Malcolm Brogdon deal during the offseason.
He wants to get to that right hand.
And Yves meets him up top. 8 on the shot clock.
This might sound crazy, but like he has this ability to understand your rhythm, right? He understands your pace, and he's like timing you. He's allowing you to get past him just a little bit so he can block the shot at the top. Like, you don't see guys year 1 game 2 doing this. That's why it's so remarkable, because we saw this dude in person. I saw him with my own 2 eyes, and to see this now is like I wouldn't have expected it. This is a really good play by Missi.
He caught like a weird lob. I think he had a lob. It might have been first half. Like, I was shocked like that he actually even like grabbed it, came down. I think he put it back up. He also had a decent move on, was it Klingon or Ayton maybe there in the fourth quarter, just rimmed in and out. Like, it was like a good move. Like, he put back and just missed it. But I've been very impressed the first 2 games. Chaz, you want to talk Herb Jones? Let's talk Herb. So 4 of 9 from the field, 8 points, 2 steals.
What did he shoot from 3?
0 for 3 from deep.
It's only 2 games. It's only 2 games.
Not when you own my fucking parlay and it ain't only 2 games. But
should have picked Dyson, bro. You've been fine.
but nah, seriously, Herb, he kind of goes through these ebbs and flows every season. The defense hasn't looked good either, though. And that's the more concerning thing to me. And that's where the growth is kind of concerning me, because even with Yves Missi or with Daniel Tice, who I thought Yves has been better than serviceable. I thought Daniel Tice has been serviceable. While I keep saying nothing has changed, because y'all still haven't done it together. You got to do it together. And that's the thing that kind of like fucks with me, because I'm like, well, damn, how does this look when everyone's playing together? I also thought Herb and Hawkins both should have got blocking calls on those charges, but
not Hawkins.
I thought both of them were moving.
Hawkins wasn't moving.
He was sliding to the right, no left. He was sliding to the left. He was moving, but. Fuck, you win. Like, to me, give yourself as much room for error as possible. Like Chris said, just get to the deadline if you plan on doing anything. As far as Herb, though, you gotta he deserves it's only been a couple games. Well, it's been about 4 games. It's only been a couple games from the preseason to now. He deserves an opportunity to shoot himself back into rhythm. We all know what Herb is capable of defensively. But right now, something just looks really, really off with him. I don't know if he's nursing an injury or something. You know, things aren't really transparent with the organization. But I trust that he'll play his way back into rhythm. But tonight, they was giving on the blues. They was giving on the blues.
Yeah, and also, like, I didn't think Jose was the last 2 games. I mean, look, obviously it's just 2 games, but I thought Jose forced a lot tonight. He had a couple bad turnovers. Wasn't really as impactful as he usually is.
How impactful is he usually?
Ross, you literally Ross, like 3 games, like literally a week ago, you literally said like he impacts winning. Like, you literally said that.
No, I didn't.
I said
that. I didn't say that.
I think
you literally said on a Sunday show. You literally said that.
Okay. Go find the clip and pull it up next show. Because
that's fine.
I think he's just an incredibly replaceable player, and I feel like I've been saying that now for 3 years. He's just all right. Like there's a million.
That's a good point, Candid.
Out there. He's just okay.
I did forget about this because Herb
he
Jones
hustles and he's like gets people excited, and so that's great.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess I kind of disagree with that, but okay.
Did Herb? When did he get this tailbone contusion? Was it in the preseason?
Dude, it was a bad fall. It was in game one.
Game one.
He had to go out of the. He had to go
Against
out
the
of the
Bulls,
game.
right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
He came
Third
out,
quarter.
he came
Started
out of the
third
game
quarter.
for a little bit.
Nah, he's been bad since the preseason, y'all. I mean, I'm just keeping that dollar. He been kind of off. Bad is probably a strong word, but he's been kind of off since the preseason. I don't know how much credit I give the contusion.
Jared, what are your thoughts on the JRE minutes?
Oh Lord,
They're just kind of weird. Like, is it necessary to play him 4 minutes?
I mean,
I just
you gotta buy some time.
That's a tough question. That's a tough question.
I just don't get. Whenever he comes to the game, I'm just like, why?
Hey man, dude got like one of the nicest looking jump shots. He got hair like Chris Conner. Like, bro, listen. Yeah. I don't know what these minutes are supposed to look like. But again, he can be serviceable at times. It's just not working right now. Like people just out of rhythm. Yeah, maybe different role, different. Maybe it takes some time to adjust. Even I would assume Jose is going through something similar with this team. Can't really find his rhythm. He's out of place. His dog Najee not here no more. Like, hey, sometimes people, growth isn't linear, as Antonio Danza would say.
Yeah. Can I address something real quick?
Yep.
I know you have a prison education, but the thing I asked is big words, a lot of syllables. It was a rhetorical question. I was asking that question because I knew that he got hurt in the regular season, right? So, just pick up the Bible, put the prison GED down.
Dudley, there's like Herb Jones, like all of our favorite. We're just literally
shout out the prison GED.
Shout out the prison GED.
Call it space.
Shout out the Dirk.
People getting better. That's all that is. Prison GEDs, people getting better.
Shout out to Dirk is crazy. Dog.
Evan, appreciate this always. Shout out. Happy birthday, 5. We're gonna go about like 10 more minutes, guys. It's 12:20 in the morning. Appreciate everyone here. Smash the like button. Let's go with the Brandon Ingram game winner. Chris, what did you? So it went Zion, like the 30-second mark. I hated that Zion shot.
So did Brandon. Did you see?
It was bad. You saw, like, it was bad. Talk me through that. The Zion shot, like, it was just it just wasn't a good shot. And then Brandon, hits a tough shot. I just thought those last 2 possessions could probably be cleaned up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it was a rough shot. I mean, the Zion one, you could see that he wanted the basketball, which, I mean, I think is welcoming. The fact that he wanted to have the opportunity to shoot that basketball in that situation, but for a guy that just didn't have the rhythm and wasn't making the shots today, specifically around the basket, that you'll see him make a couple weeks from now, whatever. I don't know if it was the right decision there, but I appreciate him at least going for it versus being scared at the moment, because it felt like at one point, the only person you had confidence shooting the ball was Hawkins in the in the fourth quarter. And at the end, I think they ran like a little. It might have been a ghost screen action, or
who's it for? Was it for Brandon? You talking about Brandon or Zion?
No, for Brandon. I thought CJ was going to get the basketball, and so there's a point where I'm not even paying attention to Brandon dribbling the ball, because I'm assuming that CJ is going to have an opportunity to win this game. And the next thing I look, Brandon probably got fouled and just did what he's supposed to do at 6'8", 6'9", however he is. What he shot over with the Simons. I mean, you live with that. I wish that they would have put together a better look. I wish that we could have gotten an opportunity to see some of the creative looks that we had seen Portland not be able to stop leading into that shot. Wow.
For everyone listening on audio, Brennan just said it's 1:19 here in NC. Take a key bump and wake up, bro. Yeah, appreciate
Shout
you,
out to
Brennan.
Brennan.
Shout out to you, Brennan. Or just get you a 4D energy drink.
Yeah, man. Just and look, And look, I got the powder right here. I can go get the key. It could be the same thing.
Shout out to everybody in North Carolina, man, recovering from that hurricane.
Yeah, for real. Let's talk about the last two sequences, what you like, what you didn't like.
I mean, we didn't like what Zion tried. I think Zion was just kind of out of sync, dog. He lost, like as Chris tweeted, he lost the rock like 17 times. Like, bro,
How many times did he fall tonight?
Yeah, man, he looked like Yves Missi in the preseason at times. Like rocks, what's going on?
Wow.
But the last shot I don't mind, and Brandon probably would shoot a similar shot like in previous years. What I do like is he was spreading the wealth in the sense of his shot profile, right? Like it wasn't just all middies all game. It wasn't. I think that's what allows him to get a little bit more space because he might shoot this shit from three, and also he was going against Simon, and if you know that kind of going on, it's like he liable to shoot this shit right now. So
go ahead.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So if you add it up a little bit, like I think Brandon in his mind, that allowed him to be more aggressive, shoot his turnaround a little bit more confidently. I don't mind the shot. I don't mind the action that they ran. I think you got a 6'8" dude over a 6'4" dude, and you got a bucket.
Bro, Jerry, I'm glad you bring that point up because
you're not supposed to talk about it. Don't bring this up.
What's that?
Take this off the screen. Take this.
I don't know who, brother.
Who brought? I didn't. I'm sorry. I was on a box score. I didn't see it. No, I was saying, Chaz, Brandon has shot. He's attempted 14 threes. He's actually shooting 50% from three on the year. 7 of 14 on the year. Do you when he's shooting that many threes a night? So he's averaging 7 a night or 7 a game. That then opens up so much more for him. So like you don't mind the middies, like you don't mind the tough contested shots because he's taking threes. He's trying to get to the rim. How many times did you get the free throw line tonight?
Once. I think twice.
Twice. Yeah. That number's got to go up. That number's got to go up for sure. But I don't mind at all the 3-point attempts and then the middies. I think he's been fantastic these last two games.
I think he's playing a more modern brand of basketball. I think in the second half of both games he's been better. I think in the first half of both games he's been a little questionable. But to me, I feel like again long term, this is going into the season. This is what you wanted to see. And how I reference Griff having like the worst luck is because with DeJounte out. Now you kind of get to see more opportunities for Brandon because the biggest concern was, damn, how all three of these dudes are going to play together. Now it's like, well, one of them out and Trey is out. So, if depending on what your goal is for the season, there's a lot of teams in the East, man, that need a lot of help. Therese Halliburton, I think he ain't score at all tonight. You know what I'm saying? So,
like literally, he didn't score.
Yeah, he like literally didn't score. So I'm telling, like to me, I'm ecstatic. I think keep up the great work, brother. keep up the great work.
Yeah, Ross, close out with Brandon Ingram's shot attempts, so we'll get out of here.
I don't have any like. I really don't. I think he's played great. I don't, and I'm not being sarcastic. I thought like the comfort he shot threes with tonight. A couple of them. I mean, there was a couple of teams. One to start the third quarter, I believe, right after the Zion dunks. There was one that he caught coming off of a screen, kind of on the left wing that I think he missed. I think one of y'all might have brought it up earlier. The way he's not taking them as a second option. He's not taking them because he doesn't have any other choice. He's taking them because like it's the open shot. He's just pulling up and shooting it, and they look good. They look in rhythm. He's making them like this. This is what we've wanted to see for the last few years. Take the shots. He's a talented offensive player. Like adding this in volume is, I think, changing the way. Like it's changing how good he can be. It's changing how good the offense can be. And everyone around him benefits from him taking and making those shots because it creates more space for everybody else. Like, I literally have nothing bad to say. I love the way he's played the first 2 games.
Yeah. Look, guys, it's late. We're gonna go live after the game Sunday night, so like around 8 o'clock.
DraftKings.
I'm gonna play DraftKings Sunday. I'm just, at this point, I'm gonna play DraftKings on fucking Sunday. Shout out to y'all. Like, shout out to the panel guys. Like, this is not easy, man. Staying up this late. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate all the the comments, and there's over 510 people in this room right now. Really appreciate y'all. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell notification. Smash that like button. Thank you for saying. When the Pelicans win, you win. You didn't like that, Chris, did you? Smash the like button. We'll see y'all Sunday night. Later.